Okay, this is
Okay.
Sonja from Sonja Saviors. We're here with Nyla today. Nyla's a patient in Pakistan. We met on Instagram most recently, and she is here to tell all of our listeners her journey and what has been going on. And I want you to realize that she's in a different country. There are different protocols for her type of cancer, and not everybody is on the same page as the United States, meaning here in the United States, we have cancer care packages. We have the resources for people to get rides. We raise the money, but in Pakistan, they don't have that in all their areas, and I wanted to stress upon that. So I would like everybody to welcome her. We are going to be on the show with her for a little bit. I do say ahead of time, if there are any questions later, go ahead and reach out to me at Sonja Saviors, at Sonja Saviors 2018 on Instagram. So welcome, Nyla. Thank you for being on my show today.
Thank you. Thank you, Sonia. Thank you for making me to listen in your show and for inviting me and caring for me. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, my friend. So as I said, we met on Instagram, and I think I was really attracted to your site because I could feel the passion in your words. I could feel when you post. You're going through quite a hard time right now, Nyla. Could you tell everybody kind of what's going on, where you're at with your cancer, what kind of cancer you've gone through?
Yes, I had grade 2 and I was unaware, we had no program since last year, any awareness program, and we don't have any mammogram program for women. Like here, women, if they want, they can go by themselves, like for mammogram. Usually women avoid because it's not free and it's not like doctors don't advise them to go yearly exam. So most of the time, women get unaware, and approximately 40,000 women die every year in Pakistan because lack of knowledge, lack of awareness, and lack of treatment.
Wow, that's a lot of women.
Yes, yes. And Pakistan is not a big country; it's a very small country.
So, as you were talking to me about your journey, you had said that, it
Yes.
feels like people, when you get diagnosed with cancer, people just leave you alone. It's very lonely. You've expressed that to me many times. Could you talk to our listeners about that feeling and kind of how you're working through that?
Before my journey, let me introduce. I am a painter, and I had a very social life, and like I have a very big circle of friends. But when I diagnosed with this, I started feeling that everyone is leaving me, and they think that it's a kind of curse, and they don't want to sit near me, that maybe they are going, and especially my family left alone, and they avoid contacting me, and they avoid calling me, and beside that I needed money because here we don't have any insurance system. So I needed money, and my husband and I were struggling to arrange the amount because the amount was so big for my treatment, and I needed a mastectomy. And we have so many lacking in our system, like we don't have any genetic testing facility here in Pakistan, especially where I was getting my treatment. It is the biggest hospital in Karachi, but they asked me to send my blood test to USA for
Wow.
testing.
Wow. So I just want to
And,
recap
yes.
now. I just want everybody to know that you have had to learn English as is it your second language, correct?
No, it's not our second language.
Okay.
Usually, we are taught in a school, like it's a subject, like as a subject,
Oh, okay.
and um, Yes.
She speaks beautifully, but
But
don't mind, I'm going to recap a couple
thank you.
things as you talk. So, what I wanted to stress on is the fact that you are now saying that once you get diagnosed with cancer, a lot of people leave, including your family. No calls, no visits, no help financially.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. That's very true. Yes.
That's very lonely, and that's the part that you and I were stressing on when we talked over Instagram, was that you're feeling very lonely right now, going through this,
Yes.
and you have family, but your family is not there right now.
Exactly. And if I say, like, my brother visited me in August 2019, and now it's the end of October of
2020.
2020. And yes, it was his last visit when he visited me, and after that, he stopped visiting me.
So
So you,
I can't tell you how much that hurts my heart. And I think that's why
and
you and I connected. Yep.
one of my sisters, she never visited me. Even she never made a call during my whole process of treatment.
No kidding. Well, I think in our Instagram little family that you and I have, like I had reached
Yes,
out to you recently when you weren't posting, because I was worried
yes,
about you, and how does this? I can't imagine how it feels to not have support, but for your healing process, what does that do to you, my friend? How does that, could you explain that to people when you don't have the support, how it might affect your healing?
yes. It affected a lot. I am a painter, and after my second chemo, I started losing my left eyesight. But I continued my painting because I had, I that time I had nothing except my paint and the walls of the room. We don't have greenery in Karachi. We don't have windows to look out. We don't have
Oh,
any back or front yard to go out. We don't have such a to walk. So all day long, I used to sit alone in my room, and it really affected the healing process. Like, it slowed it down, more slowed it down,
yes.
and the depression and anxiety, like, it started rising and rising and rising, and all day long I used to shiver and I used to vomit, and I used to sit alone and move my body like a pendulum, back back
Back
and
and
forth, back
forth.
and forth. So, like, and I tried very hard to find a support system. Even I asked my oncologist. Here doctors are like gods, and they have very harsh behavior, even the nurses.
Now,
And it made me
could
so
you
amazed.
explain that, how they're harsh? Could you explain that to our listeners?
Yes, when I used to go to my surgeon who was supposed to do my mastectomy, and her behavior was so harsh, like she is dealing kind of a stray dog or like a piece of, like, I cannot explain, like, her expression, like she used to say, "Don't ask questions, just listen to me."
Oh, so she was
And
harsh in a nasty way.
yes,
Okay, she
and if
wasn't listening.
you and even the nurses have worse behavior, and, like, as I am going through this thing, and which was very very big for me, like everyone who goes through this, like, it's a big thing.
It's a big thing, no
And
matter what
I
grade you're at, either whether you're, you don't need a mastectomy, you need a lumpectomy, whether you're 1, 2, 3, 4, end stage,
yes,
metastasize. It is very hard,
yes, it's very hard.
very hard.
And you know how quickly it spreads, and DHL lost my sample, my blood sample, which supposed to go to USA, and the hospital refused to take the responsibility. The lab refused to take the responsibility, and when I went to my surgeon and I asked her that they are refusing and she said that she's not going to touch me unless until whether it takes 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, unless she is going to get my genetic research. Having that problem, having my eyes problem, and my I had my right eye laser surgery, and with that I used to write mails sitting alone and writing to DHL, writing to the lab, um, that where is my sample, and then my second sample was sent to USA, and when they got the result, then they did my mastectomy. But that was a good experience for me. Like if I, being alone in operation theater, my husband was with me, but being a male, like, uh, what could he do? Like he was just looking at me, and I went alone to the operation theater, and I made myself realize that I needed to go through it all alone.
I can't even imagine. I'm lost for words because I know from talking to you, your paintings, your family, everything about your life meant the world to you. And like so many, just a phone call, flipped your life upside down.
Yes.
So is your husband good support or does he only, they can only do what they can do. Like you said, he's a male and he's trying, but do you feel like there's support?
Like, here things are so different, like different from USA. Like, here women are not allowed to talk about their private parts, like about their boobs
Yep.
or other parts with their, even with their husbands. They are not educated about it. So my husband and I, we avoid discussing that what will happen next, except discussing that how to arrange money, and what we never discuss what will happen next, because we have no one. My husband has no one with him, and I had no one with me to even think, because the biggest challenge in front of us was how to go through and arrange money, and how to go through that mastectomy expenses, and after that chemo expenses and the medicine expenses.
Yeah, and
So
that's a lot of. I don't know how much it is. I was talking to to one of my other guests, and we were talking about the cost of treatment. And one of my chemos for administration was $18,000, and I needed 30 rounds. How do you know?
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
so insurance
Yeah.
picks up a piece of that, but you're saying you guys have no protection, no insurance, and it's
No,
really
no.
you're kind of reaching out to anybody at that point to help you live.
We sold out. My husband sold out our plot. We had a plot, and we sold it out. And some of my husband's cousins who
Is a
were
plot like for
living
a
in UK.
house, like a house, like a plot, like as in for building, like land?
It's a piece of it's a piece of
Land.
land.
Okay.
Yes, we had that only thing as a property. So my husband sold that because we needed the money, and he took some loan from the hospital. And my husband's cousin, who are living in UK, they helped us. They sent us money,
Okay.
and then we get able to complete our, like, chemotherapy and mastectomy and
But that's
all the
still
process.
so much money. So much money.
Exactly.
And
So
it's
much
almost like
money.
you
If
get a
I convert
call.
it,
Yeah, you get a call and they're just saying,
yes,
you got cancer, you got to start your fight, but nobody's there to help you financially. And that puts people in
yes,
between a rock and a hard place, to be honest.
exactly, exactly. And seriously, if I tell you, like most of the time women are left alone to die with that disease. People don't care because they know that how difficult its treatment is.
So they have
and
to choose to die over getting
they
the help.
exactly.
Terrible. So I really want our listeners, as we get into this conversation, I really want our listeners to understand that the United States people are struggling with their care for cancer. You know, a lot of people don't have insurance, but a lot of people do. But in Pakistan, we're talking to somebody who has to reach out to everybody to help her. And she is left alone. As you've heard, she's with her husband only, and her family, her brother, her sister, they've all pretty much left her to the side to figure it out. That's a problem for me. That's a huge problem, and that's why, you know, I've already talked to Nyla about getting her a care package to her. We need to do something to help, and Nyla and I have been talking about it.
No, no, I just wanted to say that you and the sisters, and I don't know that we said we are Muslim and the people who are not Muslim, but I found that people are who are not Muslims are angels, like, you know, and it's from my heart.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, when I
here
speak
people
to
are so
you, I
cruel.
love speaking to you. You're a wonderful person.
Yes,
From the time that I met you up until now, I think about you daily. There will be a day where we can meet. I'm going to say that right now on air. There will be a day that her and
yes,
I will meet, and that day will come, and I probably won't stop hugging her, you know, air hugs. But Myla, I wanted to talk to you. Do you guys have a global support system? I mean, I know that there's no system in Pakistan, but do you think that's something that should be started, or do you think that's something that, you know, is an issue, the lack of global support, or how does that make you feel?
yes. There is so much lack of support, like not only in my country but globally. Like, I contacted WHO, I contacted whatever like in was in my knowledge and was in my reach, like to mail them to get the support for the medicine for my chemo. You know, the chemo is so costly. The medicine of chemo is so costly. So I tried very hard and I want it globally because not only in USA, not only in Pakistan, not only in Africa, not only in India, women are suffering with that disease and they need help. They seriously need help.
I'm glad that you're saying all the countries. I'm glad that it's not just the, you know,
Yes,
Pakistan. I'm glad that you're saying it's a global issue. That's huge. And so I think that, you know, for
exactly.
me, the problem I'm having is I'm getting a lot of requests and I want to get my care packages out globally. It's just the cost of them are just so much. So
Yes,
I can't even
yes.
imagine what a cancer treatment costs globally, let alone a care package.
By you convert like your $1 is equal to 160 Pak rupees. So package costs $100. Like sending here to Pakistan, it will cost $16,000, 16,000 rupees, Pakistani rupees.
No
So
kidding.
it's a big amount. Yes,
It's a huge
and
amount.
it's equal huge amount. It's equal to salary, one person's salary for a month.
Wow, just for a care package. So I want everybody to like
Yes,
listen to that again. So $100 of ours is equal to 16,000 for them.
yes,
That's huge. So I know that $18,000 then for a chemo treatment that I got is far into the thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars for you.
yes, exactly,
So
exactly.
without the support,
3,500,000 rupees.
that's a lot of money, a lot of money.
Yes,
So I don't like to pry in people's business, but when we are talking about the financial piece, how did you deal with it, Mila? Besides the, you know, by the grace of God that you had the land, but are you still in treatment? Are you still having to figure out, you know,
yes,
financial things? Okay, could you explain that a little bit?
yes. I had a good job and I was earning very good because I was working as a painter, as an accountant, and as an art teacher. So I was getting a good amount, but after COVID and after my diagnosis, I lost my job,
Like
and
me, both of
now,
us, yes.
yes, yes. Now we have a very little amount left, and like I have contacted, I'm on hormonal treatment for 7 years. I'm on letrozole,
Okay,
and I need follow up after every 6 months, like blood tests, bone scans,
yep.
zometer drip. So I tried to contact Novartis, which manufactured letrozole. So they have given me a concession, like they reduced the price, and I'm trying other um, pharmaceuticals, and I'm trying to reach them out to reduce the price more and to get my treatment done for 7 years. So I think it's a big struggle, uh, and I am just waiting my eye to heal, and so I can start some work and I can start any job.
I think getting out
So
there and
it's
starting to work again, I think will help you. We've talked about that before. But people need to realize
yes,
Mila's got bad eyes from chemo. The chemo made it after, her second bout of it. She developed not being able to see. Chemo is very potent. I just want to let people know on your eyes, your nails, your ears. It's just
yes,
very, very potent stuff. And where that was her lifeline is painting. Mila's lifeline is
yes,
painting. She's a painter. So without her eyes
yes,
and her hands, she's not able to do what she loves. So I've actually
yes.
seen some of your paintings, and they're beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Thank you,
I wouldn't
thank
even
you.
know that you have an eye issue right now, to be honest. But
Yes,
saying that doesn't feel good either, because that's like saying you don't look sick even though you are sick. But I want to
yes,
say your paintings are absolutely beautiful. I've seen them on Instagram. I've spread them around. I've reposted them. I love them.
thank you so much. Thank you. I wish I could show the paintings I made, and I had the big exhibition of my painting, and my biggest dream was to have an art gallery. And I was planning before that diagnosis to have an art gallery,
Ah,
to give uh, free art classes, and monthly get together, like having
like a
art
paint night.
exhibitions.
Yeah, like a paint night. We call those paint
Yes,
nights here. We have something called the Muse, actually, in Manchester, New Hampshire, that I've gone to regularly, and you pay a fee, and the artist teaches you how to paint the paintings. So, you know, it sounds like you had a plan, you had some dreams that were put to the side, but like I've told you recently, don't let those dreams go. You've got to go for them. And I'm hoping that those dreams
yes,
of yours will get you through
yes,
your healing. That's what I keep reiterating to you. Hold on to those things. Don't let go of them.
yes. Seriously, and seriously, because of you, sisters, all day sitting all alone in a room or in a house like a cage, like your voices giving me hope, your calls giving me hope,
Good.
and this is the only thing I have.
Well, I'm
This
here
is the
for you.
only positive thing. Yes,
And I
I,
think that people
I,
are
I
going to listen
really,
to this, and I think they're going to love you. They're going to get in contact with me. And please, listeners, if you're listening to this and you want to get in touch with her, you want to get her some care package stuff, you want to put some care package items in my care package to get to her, let's send her some things. We need to get her some items. We need to make her feel appreciated, feel loved. We are going to do something nice for you.
thank you, thank you, thank you for all the efforts. Thank you for all the efforts. Like it's like angels coming from the sky and like spreading her wings over me, and it right now I'm having that feeling, like
You've been
because no
very
one
lonely
talked to
for a
me
long
that
time.
nicely. no one talked to me that nicely.
Well, you
Especially
deserve
in my
it.
family,
You
I
deserve
was
it.
called bald. I was called half women when I had my mastectomy. People tried to touch the part where I had nothing, and they want to see that, and they want to laugh.
So
So
basically, it's a
it was
joke over there. It's people are having surgeries and women are having to lose their breast. I didn't
yes,
lose my breast. I had a lumpectomy. I did not have a mastectomy. I can't
yes,
say that the lumpectomy was any easier, but to wake up and not have your breast, you can't
yes.
minimize that and make fun of it, guys. It's not funny. It's not fun. It's definitely
No, it's not.
no, and I don't really think that that happens. I haven't gotten that over here in the United States by any means. I don't feel like people make fun of flat-chested women because of a mastectomy, but it sounds like where she is, that happens, folks, and that's real.
That's the real trauma.
It's very trauma, and when you're alone, and like you said, you've been sitting in a room in your house shaking back and forth just with lots of depression, lots of anxiety.
From the last 18 months.
Yeah, for 18
From the
months.
last 18 months.
And what is getting you out of this, Mila? What's helping you? You know, what you're strong, but I know that you have those weak days, but when you're strong, what is it that's getting you out of that rut?
Actually, I get courage like seeing my painting, and I think that one day I will be able to paint again. Now I am doing like abstract painting. Before that, I never did the abstract painting, but due to my eye problem, I have started doing abstract painting
Abstract painting.
the
Okay. Yep.
Instagram
That's
and the
wonderful.
Instagram and you sisters.
You know, Instagram is a great resource for
That
people.
is
It's I find it to be personally better
yes,
than Facebook. I'm not on Facebook. People often want me to get on Facebook. I just have no interest in Facebook. Instagram, though, I've been on there a
yes,
little over a year, and I've met some of the most phenomenal people who are willing and able
yes,
to support one another, real support. It's not fake support, it's not politics, it's truly support within the cancer community.
yes,
And I have a lot of sisters. And when she's saying sisters, what she means is we call each other our sisters, brothers and
yes,
sisters. Men also get breast cancer. And I also,
yes,
now that I'm bringing up the whole topic of men, because that's a big thing for the month of October, is the pink
yes.
and talking about women, but men get breast cancer too. We get them in the United States. In fact, I'm going to have my next guest is a
Mm-hmm.
male. Do you guys find
Mm-hmm.
the males in Pakistan are getting breast cancer or talk about it, or are you familiar with that, or
No, no.
no? Okay.
Even I told you, like, like talking about women breast cancer has just started, like in 3 years
So if they don't
ago.
talk about
Like
women,
not
they're not going to talk about men.
no,
No.
yes.
So men definitely
It would be very shameful thing for men,
for a man. So see, that's a huge difference. We're trying to bring,
men too.
yes, we're trying to
Yes,
bring attention to men too, because like I said, men get it too. Um, and
yes.
I was just thinking to myself, in your country, if it's hard for women to talk about it, I can just imagine the men, how shameful it is. And your
Yes,
paintings, how long have
yes.
you been painting for? I'm very interested in your paintings.
Like painting was the subject when I was in school,
Yep.
and then I continued it, And like it's been 20 years I'm painting.
Wow. Wow. So, to take that away from you is very tough.
Yes,
Now, if you don't mind me asking for the listeners listening, how old are you?
I'm 50 years old.
Okay. So here we do mammograms 40 and above, and then for you guys, you don't have any scheduled routine mammograms.
No,
Okay.
never. Never in my whole life.
So I
Yes.
guess I should have probably talked about it in the beginning, but my mind just goes all over the place when I'm doing these podcasts. I really try to keep them as live and as real as possible. For your cancer, how was yours detected? Did you find it or?
Actually, yes, I found it by myself. We had a marriage ceremony and I was going and I was just putting my bra on and I saw a red mark on my left side and I thought it must be some scratch. And when I came back after 2, 3 days, I felt a lump and I talked to my husband and like because lack of knowledge, I thought it must be a muscle that I did some yoga and because of that I have developed it and um, like we forget about it, but after 2, 3 months it started getting bigger.
Oh,
So then I thought that let's go for a checkup and it must be a muscle or something. So doctor will say, because I heard that there is a doctor, lady doctor, who can only touch and she can tell that it's nothing more than a muscle.
wow.
So me and my husband went there and when she advised us for a biopsy, so still that time I thought that it must be not a big deal or it must not be a big thing like going for a biopsy. But everything just went upside down when I got my biopsy report and everything started changing around me
Yes. Your whole
and
life got flipped
like
upside down.
it suddenly happened.
And it was all from the red spot. We all have
Yes,
stories. We all have, from day one to our story. It all starts with day one. And for you, it was that red mark. But if you didn't
yes,
notice that red mark on your body and you didn't pay attention to your body, we probably wouldn't be speaking today. So I can't thank you enough for checking yourself and for, you're really not allowed to be an advocate in your country, it sounds like. It's very hard to be an advocate for yourself. And you were a good
yes.
advocate. So I'm proud of you for that. You should really give yourself a lot of credit.
Thank you. Thank you. You are the first person. And seriously, on Instagram, some sister advised me to start advocating and like advising women. But it's a shame. Like women, they don't want to hear about it. They don't want to talk about it because it's only a shame.
It's shameful for them. Yeah, I'm total
Yes,
opposite. I feel like being an advocate, being as loud as possible is the way to go. But I do also, I can see the other side of it too, where it's hard in different countries to, like you said, women really are shunned to speak about their private parts and about their lives. So that part of it I would have a
yes,
hard time with because I'm very loud and vocal about what I want and about, what I need. And when you're in a
yes.
fight like you and I were in or are in, you really just have to be your best advocate or you're going to die. That's what I tell people. If you're not your best advocate, you're going to
Yes.
die.
Exactly. Even I was told that I don't need my chemotherapy because if I needed to die in this way, I should die.
Wow.
So don't go like people try to stop me that like religious people, they try to stop me to not to go for chemotherapy.
Yeah. And plus, too, a lot of
So it
people can't
also
afford it.
happened here.
They can't afford it, so they're not able to do it. So, instead of
Yes,
speaking up, they're forced to die, and that's another problem I have. I can't stress that
yes,
enough. That's very upsetting to me that that's the way things go.
yes.
You're very strong. I can hear it in your voice. I can feel it. You're a wonderful person. I've said that before. I'll say it till I'm blue
Thank
in the
you.
face. I've really
Thank
taken
you.
to you and
Thank
your
you.
story. I just think you're
Thank you.
wonderful.
Thank you so much, Sonia. Thank you so much. I appreciate that you reached out for me, like sitting thousands of miles away and caring women like me, like whose own relations don't care about her. It's a really big thing, big
Oh, I care about
humanity.
you like you're my family.
Uh,
I definitely care
yes,
a lot
yes,
about you. Like I
yes,
said, when I didn't see you
yes,
posting, and there's a lot of times where we can't post, but when we talk about our Instagram community, the
yes,
cancer community, I wanted to just say that when somebody doesn't post every now and then, we get nervous. We worry about
yes,
one another, and Mila wasn't posting for, and I found out she was having some depression issues, and those are the times where we got to reach out to each other when we don't see each other posting,
yes,
or if we're not talking, or we're not being the normal way that we usually are. It's important for us to recognize that, and I recognize that about you. I said, oh, she hasn't posted in a little bit, so I wanted to reach out. And when I found out you were okay physically, you weren't in the
yes,
hospital, I felt so much more relief. But again, we talk about sisters, and that's what
yes,
we're sticking together, our brothers and our sisters. I have to include the brothers. We have a lot of men who get cancer too, breast cancer. It may not be as common, but it's because we don't talk about it. I think if we talked about it
exactly.
more, I think it would be a common thing. But again,
Yes,
we're over here in the United States, I think we're just starting to come out and talk about men getting breast cancer. I personally got diagnosed in 2018, and I never thought once for a minute that it was breast cancer for men, but they can
mm-hmm.
get it too. So I'm going to stress that a lot on my stuff.